Imagine living in a town by the sea where your entire livelihood depends on fishing. And then Allah commands you, do not fish on Saturday. This is not just a story of fish. This is a story of obedience, deception, silence, and divine justice. This is the story of Ashaab-us-Sabt, the people of Saturday. This story takes us to a small fishing village from Bani Israel, located along the coast. Their lives revolved around the sea. Fishing was not a luxury, it was survival. At that time, due to repeated disobedience and stubbornness, Allah placed many commandments upon Bani Israel. These commands were not meant to destroy them, but to purify their hearts and cleanse their sins. One of these commands was strict. The Sabbath means day of Saturday, a day dedicated entirely to Allah. No work, no fire, no fishing. For a farming community, this was manageable. But for fishermen, this was a severe test. For 6 days of the week, the sea was silent. The fishermen returned with empty nets, tired bodies, and anxious hearts. Their children waited, hungry. Their stores grew thin. But then came Saturday. On Saturdays, something strange happened. The sea came alive. Fish appeared in abundance, large, plentiful, swimming openly at the surface, as if teasing the fishermen. The same waters that had been empty all week overflowed with life. Yet this was the one day they were forbidden to cast their nets. Allah describes this moment in the Quran and asks them about the town that was by the sea when they transgressed in the matter of the Sabbath, when their fish came to them openly on the Sabbath day and did not come to them on the day they had no Sabbath. Thus we tested them because they used to rebel. Quran chapter 7, Ayah 163. It was not cruelty. This was a test of faith, patience, and obedience. The fishermen struggled. Hunger knocked at their doors. Children cried. The smell of grilled fish from neighboring areas filled the air. Shaitan whispered, "You are not being told not to eat fish, only not to fish on Saturday. You are clever people. Find a way." And so, a plan was born. They placed nets and traps on Friday. On Saturday, the fish entered the traps freely. On Sunday, they collected the fish. They claimed, "We didn't fish on Saturday." But in reality, they had tricked themselves, not Allah. Over time, they became bolder, and the sin became open and shameless. Over time, the deception grew bolder. The shame disappeared. Fish was cooked openly. The smell drifted through the town. Children laughed with full stomachs, while others watched with growing concern. The town slowly divided. As the sin spread, the village split into 3 groups: the transgressors, those who openly disobeyed Allah and justified their actions; the reformers, those who commanded good and forbade evil. They warned the sinners repeatedly, "Fear Allah. Do not invite His punishment." They spoke not with pride, but with fear of Allah. The silent ones, they did not fish. They did not disobey, but they also did not speak. They told the reformers, "Why do you warn a people whom Allah is about to destroy anyway?" In today's words, mind your own business. But the reformers replied with wisdom, "So that we may be excused before our Lord, and perhaps they may fear Allah." Quran chapter 7, Ayah 164. Week after week, fish kept coming, warnings kept coming, but hearts had hardened. The transgressors laughed, the silent ones watched. The reformers continued, trembling, afraid of Allah's wrath descending upon everyone. And then, the warning period ended. One morning the sea was silent. No fish swam, no nets were lowered, no warnings were spoken, because Allah's decree had arrived. Not fire, not flood, not earthquake. Something far more humiliating. Allah said in Quran chapter 7, Ayah 165, "Be apes, despised and rejected." Those who mocked Allah's command were awoke, transformed. Their bodies were no longer human. Their faces are no longer recognizable. They had become apes, despised and rejected, just as Allah had decreed. They recognized their families, their neighbors, their children, but their families did not recognize them. They tried to speak, but no words came. They lived only a short while before perishing. a living humiliation and a lasting sign. Allah saved those who had spoken the truth. Those who had commanded good and forbidden evil were spared. As for the silent ones, the Quran remains quiet about their fate, leaving a warning hanging in the air for every generation that follows. Allah makes it clear in Quran chapter 7, ayah 165, "We rescued those who forbade evil, and we seized those who did wrong with a severe punishment." The reformers were saved, the sinners were destroyed. As for the silent ones, the scholars differed. Some feared they were punished. Others hoped they were spared. Even Hazrat ibn Abbas wept when reciting these verses, fearing the fate of those who stay silent. Silence in the face of open wrongdoing is not neutrality. The Prophet Muhammad said, "By him in whose hand is my soul, you must command good and forbid evil, or Allah will send a punishment upon you, then you will beg for forgiveness, and your prayer will not be answered." The Prophet Muhammad gave a powerful example. People on a boat, some above, some below. The lower ones say, "Let us drill a hole here. It's our section." If they are stopped, all survive. If ignored, all drown. This is Ashaab-us-Sabt. This story is not about fish. It is about obedience. It is about self-deception, and it is about the danger of silence when Allah's limits are crossed. Every generation is tested, sometimes with wealth, sometimes with fear, and sometimes, like this village, with something as simple and as tempting as fish. And the question remains for us all. When Allah tests us, will we obey? Will we warn? Or will we remain silent?